The first light of dawn stretched across the horizon, spilling gold over the ancient valley as if the sun itself had paused to admire the landscape below. Mist rolled gently off the river, dancing around towering cliffs that had stood unchanged for millennia. A hush lay over the land, broken only by the distant call of a bird unseen. In this quiet cradle of wilderness, life moved with a rhythm older than memory, untouched by the rush of human ambition. I had come here chasing a whisper, stories of a hidden ecosystem thriving beyond the maps, a place where nature had written its own rules. My boots pressed into the soft soil as I followed a narrow trail carved by animals, not people. The air was thick with the perfume of damp earth and wildflowers. Every step felt like a step deeper into time, deeper into a world that had existed long before humans had words for beauty. The valley was said to hold species rare and elusive, creatures whose lives unfolded far from the reach of civilization. My purpose was to observe, not interfere, to document the intricate patterns that tied every life together in this secluded ecosystem. As I reached the riverbank, a ripple caught my eye. Something moved beneath the surface, gliding with fluid grace. At first I thought it was a fish, but then a sleek head broke the water, an otter, its fur glistening in the early light. It paused to look at me, unafraid, curious. Its eyes held the shimmer of intelligence, a quiet awareness that reminded me how closely all creatures observe one another. In a flash of movement, it dove again, disappearing into the silver depths. The stillness that followed carried a weight of mystery, as if the river itself guarded ancient secrets. The deeper I moved into the valley, the more life began to reveal itself. A herd of wild antelope grazed quietly in a clearing, their slender legs and high-arched necks giving them an almost delicate beauty. They didn't scatter as I approached, instead, they lifted their heads in unison, their ears flicking toward the faintest sound. Their trust was not carelessness, it was a testament to the peace this place had known for centuries. Here, predators and prey lived in a delicate balance, each fulfilling their role in the grand tapestry of nature. A sudden rustle in the brush drew my attention. Slowly, cautiously, I moved toward the sound. Through the leaves I spotted a mother leopard, her golden coat blending seamlessly with the dappled sunlight. Beside her, two cubs tumbled playfully, their tiny paws smacking at imaginary foes. The mother lifted her head, her expression regal and sharp, assessing my presence. For a moment, our eyes met. I felt the raw power of the wild staring back at me, untamed, rightful, sovereign. She gave a low chuff, a warning yet not hostile, and guided her cubs deeper into the shadows. I lowered my gaze in respect, grateful for the fleeting glimpse into her world. As the sun climbed higher, I reached a towering fig tree that locals believed was older than recorded history. Its branches stretched wide like arms embracing the sky, and its roots plunged deep into the earth, twisting and curling like ancient veins. Birds flitted among the leaves, brilliant flashes of blue, red, and gold. One perched just above my head, its feathers shimmering iridescently. It watched me with the sharp focus of a creature born of flight, its song lilting through the air like a message carried by the wind. I settled beneath the tree, taking a moment to appreciate the woven harmony around me. The valley breathed with life, each sound layered like the notes of an orchestra. Somewhere nearby, monkeys chattered excitedly, perhaps arguing over food or territory. In the distance, a thunderous rumble echoed through the cliffs, not weather, but the footsteps of migrating elephants. Even from afar, the ground trembled faintly beneath their massive weight. Driven by instinct, I followed the sound until I reached a wide plain bordered by tall grass. There, marching in a line that stretched beyond sight, was a herd of elephants unlike any I had ever seen. Their tusks were long and curved, some nearly reaching the ground, a sign of a species that had avoided centuries of poaching. The matriarch led them with wisdom in every step, her ears wide, her eyes calm. Calves trotted between the adults, their playful trumpets adding joy to the air. Watching them, I felt the humbling reminder of how deeply family bonds run in the animal world, sometimes stronger and purer than in our own. One young elephant wandered toward me, its curiosity overpowering caution. It extended its trunk, gently brushing the air near my face. I stood perfectly still, allowing it to explore. Its touch was surprisingly soft, warm with breath and life. After a moment, the calf turned back to its herd, satisfied with its discovery. The matriarch raised her trunk in a gesture that felt like acknowledgement, or perhaps warning, and continued guiding her family across the plains. The day grew hotter, the sun bathing the valley in a golden haze. I continued deeper until the forest thickened around me. Here the light dimmed, filtered through a canopy so dense it turned afternoon into twilight. The forest floor was soft with fallen leaves, and the air vibrated faintly with the hum of insects. In the shadows, I saw movement, small, delicate shapes flitting between the trees. A troop of rare pygmy monkeys appeared, their tiny bodies agile as they leapt from branch to branch. Their sharp eyes glimmered with mischief. One dropped down onto a vine near me, hanging upside down as if trying to understand why a human had entered its domain. I raised my camera slowly, capturing the moment. The monkey tilted its head, seemingly posing. Then, with a chirp, it scampered away, vanishing into the dense foliage. The encounter left me smiling, reminded once more of the wonder that thrives when nature is allowed to flourish undisturbed. As I navigated through the forest, I noticed tracks in the damp soil, a pattern unlike those of any animal I had documented before. Intrigued, I followed them, careful not to disturb the impressions. They led me to a glade illuminated by a shaft of sunlight where a creature emerged as if conjured from myth. It was a rare mountain gazelle, its coat a perfect blend of chestnut and white, its horns spiraling upward like delicate sculptures. It moved with such grace that it seemed to float across the ground. I held my breath, absorbing every second of the encounter. These gazelles were rumored to be nearly extinct, their sightings so rare that even scientists doubted their continued existence. Yet here it stood, proud and alive, a symbol of nature's quiet resilience. The gazelle lifted its head, ears twitching. I sensed something before I heard it, the subtle shift of the wind, the sudden tension in the air. Predators were nearby. The gazelle bolted, disappearing into the trees with breathtaking speed. A moment later, a pack of wild dogs emerged, their coats mottled, their eyes fierce with hunger. They split into coordinated groups, moving with astonishing strategy. The chase was on, a raw display of survival that no documentary could ever truly capture. I didn't follow, nature had its laws, and I was only a witness. Later, as evening approached, I climbed a rocky ridge overlooking the valley. The sky blazed with orange and purple, the setting sun painting fire across the clouds. From this height, the world spread beneath me like a living mosaic, rivers weaving silver ribbons, forests breathing in slow, deep waves, animals moving like tiny strokes of life. The beauty was overwhelming, a reminder of the fragile wonders that still exist on our planet. Night fell gently. Stars emerged one by one until the entire sky shimmered like a dome of diamonds. The valley transformed under the moonlight. Owls hooted softly from treetops, and the distant howl of a wolf echoed with haunting majesty. The nocturnal world stirred awake, revealing creatures rarely seen by day. I spotted glowing eyes between the trees, small wildcats prowling silently. Fireflies drifted through the air, tiny lanterns flickering in the dark. I stayed awake long into the night, documenting every sound, every movement, every breath of the living world around me. My mission had never been simply to tell a story, it had been to understand the heartbeat of a place untouched by greed or fear. Here, life followed the rhythm of the earth, uncorrupted and free. When dawn finally broke again, it cast a new light on the valley. I realized then that stories like this one were more than observations, they were reminders. The world was still full of miracles, still capable of wonder. But these wonders needed guardians, voices to defend the fragile beauty that humanity so often overlooked. I had come here seeking a story, but what I found was a message, a call to protect the wild places that keep our planet alive. As I prepared to leave the valley, I paused one last time, listening to the whispers of the wind through the ancient trees. The animals moved around me with the quiet confidence of those who knew their place in the balance of nature. I hoped the world would come to understand that these places were not just landscapes, they were living legacies, irreplaceable and sacred. With a final deep breath, I turned away. But the valley stayed with me, etched into memory like a promise, that as long as stories are told, as long as we choose to care, the wilderness will continue to breathe, thrive, and remind us of the beauty we are meant to protect.